Money magnifies habits, not intelligence. There is a comforting lie many people carry into adulthood, especially in their 30s. It sounds reasonable, even hopeful. Once I earn more, things will fall into place. The idea is that money itself will solve the tension, the stress, the chaos. But money does not have the power people think it does. It does not correct behavior. It does not install discipline. It does not suddenly make you wise. Money simply amplifies what is already there. Give a careless spender more income, and they don't become secure. They become a more expensive version of anxious. Give a disciplined saver more income, and they don't just feel relief, they build freedom. The difference is not the size of the paycheck, it is the habit behind the paycheck. In your 30s, habits are still forming, but they feel permanent. You're busy building a career, raising a family, chasing opportunities, and trying to prove yourself. Financial decisions get pushed to the side because they don't feel urgent. Bills are paid, food is on the table, and tomorrow feels far away. But every unexamined habit quietly sets a direction. Small choices repeated daily become a lifestyle, and lifestyles eventually become destinies. What you practice when the numbers are small is what you repeat when the numbers grow. If you don't track where your money goes now, you won't magically track it later. If saving feels optional today, it will feel inconvenient tomorrow. Discipline is not something you switch on when life slows down. Discipline is something you build when life is busy, because that's when it matters most. People often underestimate the power of routine. A simple habit of setting aside a portion of income, of planning instead of reacting, of spending with intention. These actions seem unimpressive. They don't impress friends. They don't make for exciting conversations. But they create stability, and stability creates confidence. Confidence changes how you show up in every area of life. Money in the end becomes a mirror. It reflects your priorities, your patience, and your values. It shows you whether you live by design or by default. The silent danger of lifestyle drift. As income grows, temptation grows quietly alongside it. This is lifestyle drift, the slow, almost invisible expansion of expenses that feels justified at every step. A better phone because you work hard, a bigger car because you deserve comfort, a larger home because everyone else seems to be upgrading. None of these decisions feel reckless on their own. That's what makes them dangerous. Lifestyle drift doesn't announce itself as a mistake. It shows up dressed as reward. It whispers, "You've earned this." And maybe you have, but the real question is not whether you can afford something today. The real question is whether that choice supports the life you want 10, 20, 30 years from now. In your 40s, lifestyle drift becomes heavier. Responsibilities increase, expectations rise. You start carrying not just your own financial decisions, but the consequences of past ones. The margin for error gets thinner, yet spending often grows faster than wisdom. Comfort becomes a priority, and comfort is expensive. It demands maintenance, it demands upgrades. It demands constant income just to stay in place. The danger is not enjoying life. The danger is confusing enjoyment with progress. When your lifestyle consumes everything you earn, you become dependent on your income continuing exactly as it is. Any disruption, a job change, a health issue, an economic shift, suddenly feels like a crisis. What looked like success turns into pressure. True financial strength is not about how impressive your life looks. It's about how resilient it is. It's about having room to breathe, room to choose, room to adapt. That room is created not by earning more, but by needing less. Lifestyle drift steals the future quietly. It doesn't collapse your finances overnight. It just delays freedom year after year. And the most painful part is that many people don't realize what happened until they look back and wonder why, despite decades of hard work, they still feel stuck, still feel dependent, still feel like the next paycheck matters more than it should. The pull of lifestyle will always be there. Society rewards display, not discipline. But those who learn to pause before upgrading, to question before committing, and to value freedom over appearance begin to experience a different kind of wealth. One that grows quietly in the background, shaping choices, reducing stress, and creating options that most people never seem to have time to build. Ignoring compounding is the most expensive mistake you'll ever make. There is a quiet force shaping every financial future, whether people acknowledge it or not. It doesn't shout, it doesn't rush. It works patiently, day after day, year after year. That force is compounding. And the tragedy is not that people don't understand it intellectually. The tragedy is that they don't respect it emotionally. In your 30s, time feels abundant. Retirement feels distant. There's a sense that you can always start a little later, But compounding doesn't wait for motivation. It rewards those who act early and punishes those who delay, without emotion or mercy. The same amount of money invested at different times can produce drastically different outcomes, not because of effort, but because of when the effort began. Most people think wealth is built by large, dramatic actions. In reality, it is built by small, consistent decisions made over a long period. Compounding turns modest discipline into massive results, but only if you give it time to work. When you delay, you're not just postponing gains, you're permanently shrinking what's possible. By the time people reach their 40s, many begin to feel the weight of lost years. They start calculating what could have been if they had started earlier. That realization often comes with regret, followed by panic. Panic leads to risky decisions, shortcuts, and chasing quick wins. But compounding doesn't respond to urgency. It responds to consistency. The emotional cost of ignoring compounding is heavy. It shows up as stress, as pressure to earn more, as fear of slowing down. When money hasn't been allowed to grow on its own, you are forced to keep pushing, keep working, keep trading time for income. The future becomes something you chase instead of something you prepare for. Compounding is not just about money. It's about habits, patience, and trust in long-term thinking. Those who respect it early gain something priceless later. Options. Options to work less, to choose differently, to live without constant financial tension. Debt is a silent thief of the future. Debt rarely enters life as a villain. It arrives as a helper. It offers convenience, speed, and access. A credit card here, a loan there, a payment plan that feels manageable. And for a while, it works. But over time, debt changes the relationship you have with money, and most people don't notice when that shift happens. The real danger of debt is not the numbers, it's the psychology. Debt teaches you to enjoy today before paying for it. It normalizes living slightly ahead of your means. And once that habit forms, it becomes difficult to reverse. Every future paycheck starts with a list of obligations, not opportunities. In your 30s and 40s, debt often feels justified. You're building a life, you're providing, you're investing in comfort and stability. But when debt funds lifestyle instead of growth, it quietly steals flexibility. You may earn well, but you feel restricted. You may appear successful, but your money is already spoken for. By the time people reach their 50s, debt becomes heavier, not just financially, but emotionally. What once felt like progress now feels like pressure. The years ahead seem shorter, yet the obligations remain. Instead of preparing for freedom, energy is spent maintaining commitments made long ago. Debt limits choices. It narrows vision. It forces decisions to be made out of necessity rather than intention. When income drops or circumstances change, debt doesn't adjust. It demands consistency in a world that is anything but consistent. There is a deep emotional relief that comes from reducing debt. It's not just about saving interest. It's about reclaiming control. Each debt paid off removes a layer of stress, a layer of dependency. It restores confidence and creates breathing room. Breathing room allows you to think clearly, plan wisely, and act with purpose. Debt, when unmanaged, steals the future in small pieces. Not all at once, but gradually, through missed opportunities, delayed dreams, and constant financial tension. Those who recognize this early begin to see money not as something to borrow from tomorrow, but as something to build for tomorrow, step by step, with patience and discipline. Confusing income with wealth. One of the most common financial illusions is believing that a good income automatically means you are doing well. On the surface, it makes sense. Money comes in regularly, bills get paid, life looks stable, but income is only a flow. It passes through your hands. Wealth is what remains when the flow slows down or stops. Many people in their 40s and 50s earn more than they ever have, yet feel more anxious than they did years earlier. Why? Because their lifestyle, responsibilities, and expectations have grown alongside their income. Every raise came with a new commitment. Every promotion came with a new expense. The result is a life that looks successful but feels fragile. Wealth is not about how much you make in a year. It's about how long you can live without making anything at all. That is a sobering thought, and it changes how you see money. True wealth buys time. It buys peace of mind. It buys the ability to say no when everyone else feels forced to say yes. When income is confused with wealth, people postpone preparation. They assume there will always be another paycheck, another opportunity, another chance to catch up. But income is tied to energy, health, and circumstance. Wealth, on the other hand, continues working quietly when you can't. Those who build wealth focus on ownership, not just earnings. They understand that assets are silent partners, working day and night. Without assets, even a high earner remains dependent. Dependence creates pressure, and pressure erodes joy, delaying responsibility across decades. There is a phrase that quietly destroys more financial futures than failure ever could. I'll take care of it later. Later feels safe. Later feels flexible. Later feels forgiving. But later is expensive. In your 30s, delaying responsibility feels harmless. Life is busy, and priorities compete for attention. In your 40s, delay starts to feel uncomfortable, but manageable. In your 50s, delay becomes regret. Not because opportunity disappeared, but because time did. Financial responsibility is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about choosing to face reality early, when adjustments are small and options are many. Every year of avoidance narrows the path forward and increases the effort required to change direction. The emotional weight of delay is heavy. It shows up as worry late at night, as tension in conversations, as fear of the future disguised as confidence in the present. When responsibility is postponed, stress compounds just like debt does. Taking responsibility is an act of courage. It means admitting where you are without excuses. It means making decisions that may not feel exciting today, but will feel deeply rewarding tomorrow. Responsibility restores control. Control restores hope. Ending, a call to choose the future now. Your financial life is not defined by your past mistakes, but it will be shaped by your next decisions. Every choice you make from this moment forward is a vote for the future you will live in. Not someday, not later, but inevitably. The truth is simple and demanding. No one is coming to rescue your future, and that is not a burden. It is a gift, because it means the power to change direction is already in your hands. Your 30s, 40s, and 50s are not deadlines. They are opportunities. Opportunities to shift habits, reclaim control, and build something that will support you when effort alone no longer can. Decide today to respect your future. Decide today to value freedom over appearance. Decide today to let discipline, patience, and responsibility guide your money. Because the greatest reward of financial wisdom is not wealth itself, it is the peace that comes from knowing you prepared, you chose wisely, and you built a future that will take care of you when you need it most.